In this video, I'm talking about personal cybersecurity in 2022 and what you need to know. This tip is being brought to you by 401k Maneuver. 401k Maneuver provides personalized online professional account management for your 401k with the goal of supercharging its account performance. So stop leaving money on the table each and every year in the form of lost returns. Let us help you. If you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell on the right to receive notifications of our next freshly posted content. So let's jump right in. Cybercrime is growing at an alarming rate with almost 850,000 reports to the FBI in 2021 alone. And those are just the ones reported. Imagine how many more go unreported. Personal cybersecurity should always be at the forefront of our minds. The problem is that the number of incidents are so overwhelming that it feels as if personal cybersecurity is absolutely impossible. Just consider these scary tactics from private internet access. Personal computers and devices experience a hacking attempt every 29 seconds. Or more than 2,200 times a day. The FBI received 241,000 phishing-related complaints in 2020. 45,000 personal data breaches were reported in 2020. 37 billion records were exposed in data breaches in 2020. If your personal information can be stolen in a large company data breach, how can what you do at home matter? Here's the truth. The truth is that cybercrime can happen anywhere and to anyone, and it's up to us to take every step possible to protect ourselves from identity theft, fraud, and other types of cybercrimes. So let's talk about some basics of personal cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is the protection of devices, networks, and computer systems from digital attacks. And personal cybersecurity refers to the best practices for protecting one's privacy, data, and devices from cybercrimes and unauthorized access, such as hackers. Now, if someone gains access to a network or a device by hacking, they can steal your personal information. Now let's talk about why personal cybersecurity is a major concern. Unlike many crimes in the physical world, cybercrimes are often difficult to wrap our heads around because we just don't see them. And hackers stay hidden behind computer screens, and many times the cybercrimes go unnoticed until the damage is done and it's way too late. The problem is that many of us keep a significant amount of our personal information online or on devices such as passwords, account numbers, social security numbers, addresses, and the list goes on and on. If a hacker gains access to personal details such as your banking information or your credit card login, they can take that information and sell it on the dark web. Now, according to Norton, almost 10 million people have their identity stolen each year, making personal cybersecurity super important, or as some would say, paramount. So let's talk about what hackers want. You may be wondering why a hacker would target you, and the answer is simple. It's your personal information. Your personal information, no matter who you are, it's really valuable. And on the dark web, someone can purchase a social security number in a matter of minutes. And they may use this to create an entirely new identity, collect tax refunds, or open a new line of credit. And according to private internet security, as many as 15 billion user credentials, 1 billion of them which are unique, from 100,000 breaches are still up for grabs. The offer data includes account names, usernames, passwords, online banking details, and social media accounts. It's true. Let's pivot and talk about how cybercriminals come after individuals. When we hear about cybercrimes in the news, it's usually large-scale ransomware attacks on major businesses such as the Colonial Pipeline. However, cybercrimes happen to individuals every day right here in the United States. Ask yourself this: how many times have you been sent a friend request on Facebook by someone you are already friends with, or received a message with a suspicious link to click? These are all types of personal cybercrimes, and let's look at some of the ways cybercriminals go after individuals. The first is phishing. What's phishing? Well, it's a communication technique that attempts to convince users like you to provide sensitive personal information or click on dangerous links. Today's cyber criminals also use phishing through SMS messages, they call it smishing now, and through phone calls, voice phishing or vishing. This is the most common type of complaint the FBI receives regarding personal cybersecurity and the top breach method. Now let's introduce you to malware. Well, what is malware? It's software that performs a cyber attack on an individual, such as clicking a link that downloads malicious malware to your devices. Let's introduce you to data breaches. Data breaches affect large companies and the individuals who've shared personal information with those companies. According to MBroker, one major example of a third-party breach occurred at the beginning of 2021 when hackers leaked personal data from over 214 million Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn accounts. Let's get you up to speed with smart devices. More and more Americans are enjoying the conveniences of a smart device. However, the more internet-connected devices you own, the more your personal cybersecurity is at risk. MBroker reports attacks on smart or Internet of Things devices spiked as a result, with over 1.5 billion breaches occurring between January and June alone of 2021. Here's a great question. What do you do after a data breach? If you've received a generic email from a company such as LinkedIn, which informs you that your information was part of a data breach, here's what you should do. First, read the email from the company and pay close attention to when the breach occurred, and take note of what type of information was part of the stolen data. This may include your login credentials, financial information, social security numbers, or addresses. Even if login credentials weren't stolen, change your passwords. If you reuse your password on multiple sites, this means hackers can find out what other sites you use the password for and gain access there too, so be careful. If the data breach includes financial information, contact your financial institution right away. Let them know there's a possible fraud and they will walk you through the next steps. Next, you want to request a free credit report from the annualcreditreport.com to see if any new accounts have been opened under your name. And you may want to consider taking a preventative measure by placing a freeze on your credit to block anyone from opening an account. Delete any unused old accounts, especially those that used the same password. Now you're going to be asking, well, what do I do if you suspect you've been hacked? Well, there may be times when you suspect that you've been hacked or you've been a victim of a cybercrime, but you aren't 100% sure. Start by heading over to Have I Been PWNED, Pond, and entering your email address. This website catalogs data breaches and the information about each breach. You'll find out right away if your information is out there. You can also look for signs that have been hacked, such as posts appearing on your social media that you did not post, or messages in your sent folder that you did not send. If you suddenly cannot sign into your email account or social media account, this is another sign that you've been hacked. Now let's talk about some personal cybersecurity basics. First, make sure you create strong passwords. The very first step toward personal cybersecurity is creating a very strong password. You can't use something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The more complicated your passwords, the harder it will be for hackers to gain access. Next, let's talk about use multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication provides an extra level of security on your accounts. It's wise to use multi-factor authentication for any account that has personal information such as social media. After that's done, make sure you sign up for security alerts. Sign up for security alerts with your bank and your credit card company. In addition, monitor your credit reports and banking statements for any authorized transactions, and pay attention to Google's password manager. If you receive an alert that your password's been compromised, guess what? It's time to change it. Here's a really good one that I want to talk about. Don't autosave personal information, no matter how convenient it is for you to autosave your credit card information for online shopping. It's not worth the risk, you guys. Take the time to re-enter the information each time you make a purchase on a safe and secure online website. Next, it's going to be really smart for you to invest in cybersecurity tools. Antivirus solutions, malware, and firewalls help prevent cybersecurity risks on your devices. Make sure you check them out. Here's one that's overlooked a ton, and that's run system updates. Whenever you receive a notification that it's time to run a system update, do it. Even if it's at an inconvenient time. These security updates protect you against the latest cybersecurity threats. And make sure, this is a big one, you think before you click. Before you visit any site or click on any link, think carefully. Use what you've learned about phishing and apply it. Train yourself to recognize and report phishing. Does the email or text message try to mimic a real bank or company? Does it ask you to send some sort of personal information such as a password to secure your account? Does it offer something too good to be true? Are there spelling or grammar errors? You can easily find out if it's real or phishing attempt by contacting the actual company, like your bank, your credit card company, or Netflix directly, rather than clicking the link or replying. That's it for today, everybody. We regularly post videos and financial information and updates. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell on the right to receive notifications of our next posted content.